everybody, it's me, Corrie Sommers, and I am here today with Monique from Extension Bar LA. And stay tuned because we're going to talk about her business and all the amazing things she's doing over here. So, we are here at Extension Bar LA. Why don't you share a little bit basically what your business is and just what you offer here and what you do?
So we are obviously located in Studio City because that's important.
Yes.
And we're an extension bar, hair extensions. So we do 4 different types of extensions. We do a clip-in method, a tape-in method, a beaded weft method, and an individual method. And I'll show you guys in a little bit what those are all called. Because I really believe one extension doesn't suit all. So you have options with us, which is super important because everybody's hair is different. Everybody wants like different things, so that you really get everything here when it comes to hair extensions. We don't do a lot of color, we do a lot of toning to match the hair, but I send my clients out for color and they come, this is exclusively just for extensions.
So it's interesting that you say that because I think that's, I've never done hair extensions, so I don't know a whole lot about
You
it.
don't really need them.
We're gonna,
I already looked.
we're gonna dig into that a
Yeah.
little more, but it never would have occurred to me that you can color hair extensions.
You can't, so you can tone them, but
Okay.
you can't color them. So you don't want to bleach them like you have highlights on your hair. That will damage because extensions are already processed.
Okay.
But to tone them, to make them a little lighter, like 2 shades lighter, like toning with a violet, or 2 shades darker is fine, but that's about it. It's a very subtle process.
Okay. Now, how did you get into extensions?
So I've been doing hair for 16 years now. It's been my passion since I started. And the woman that, I did an apprenticeship program. So instead of going to regular cosmetology school, I got my hours through working in the salon. We went to school once a week in downtown LA. I'm an LA native, so I'm born and raised here, which I take a lot of pride in. I love our city. But the lady that I worked under did the first kind of individual extensions, which is like a protein and resin bond, and that was like a big deal 16 years ago because that's all we had to do when it came to extensions. And since then, I've mastered like the different methods, and I've tried every single method possible. And my main goal has always been to take good care of the hair because there's this misconception that like extensions are bad for the hair and that they're going to ruin the hair. And I could talk to you all day about extensions and how it starts with me, the hairdresser, and the girls that I train, and it ends with you. So if I'm putting them in properly and then training the client how to keep them and make them and prep them and wash them, and I like there's a list of how to take care of them, then your hair will grow and your hair will get better. And we have pictures on our Instagram. So, you guys know that Instagram is super important now. So all our work is on Instagram. So you can see before pictures of when they first came in 6 months ago, and then now after they have the extensions out, and how well their hair is done, because we are training our clients properly and taking care of their extensions properly.
Awesome. So your clients then, I would stand to reason their hair is not being damaged.
Correct.
And it's looking good. So what, I guess, again, because I don't know a lot about extensions because I haven't done them all, but there's been some times I'm like, should I, I see some women who are like gorgeous, super thick, lots and lots and lots of hair, and I was like, oh, what if I wanted to play with my hair one day? What should I do? What's the main reason people are getting extensions?
2 reasons. 1, for thickness. So they have really fine hair. They were born with fine hair. They've never had thick hair, so they want it for fullness. 2nd, length. And so those are the 2 main components. If like I look like I'm balding a little because of my roots. If you're getting thinner as we age, we get thinner. Our hair gets thinner as women and men, but for women, we get thinner on top. There's a lot of women that want like hair extensions right on top, and you can't do those kind. So a lot of women want the fullness on top. That's more of like a hair topper. So I can always get those for you. We don't carry them in shop. But that's another reason, it's thinning hair. So like somebody for you, let's say as we get older, it thins, but again, I look at your hair and you have good genes, so you have thick hair, so you don't need them. But you could try like for a night out, we say the charm method, and I'll show you that in a second, is just for a night out, and it's clip-in extensions.
Okay, cool. Now that sounds interesting. So with extensions, you're teaching everyone how to treat them, how to care for them. So I'm assuming they can wash them, but they do have to follow certain guidelines
Correct.
to be careful to preserve their life cycle.
100%.
What is the average life cycle of hair extensions?
Well, it depends on what kind. So clip-ins are just for your night out. Your tape-ins are 6 to 8 weeks. Tape-ins means it's a medical grade tape that we're using. And it's removed with like an alcohol-based product. It does not harm the hair. Individual protein keratin bonds last up to 4 months. And then you cannot reuse them. And then our Allure method, which is our beaded row, lasts up to 12 weeks with the method that I've created. They last up to 12 weeks and you can reuse the hair.
Okay, so you just touched on something I want to dive a little deeper in. You've created a method. Share a little bit about that.
So there's a lot of beaded weft methods out there and I've taught myself how to do them. But I want to make sure the hair stays intact. We're not pulling the hair out. And so I've just tweaked the method a little bit so it helps not pull the hair out and for it to last longer. So my method, the beaded weft method, lasts 12 weeks. We've had girls stay 12 weeks with them and them being fine. They just get a little loose, but they don't fall out or anything.
That's awesome. Now I do have a friend who gets extensions, and I didn't know they were extensions. It's like her hair was just so much hair and just so beautiful, and then one day it was shorter, and I was like, "Oh, you cut your hair?" She's like, "Oh, I took my extensions out." I was like, "What?" I had no idea. Her hair looked so good.
Yeah.
So I get it. I can see why.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get to the next question. You've grown up in Los Angeles. You're native. How important would you say shopping local is?
So important. When I made the salon, we've only been open 6 months, but when I was building the salon, I wanted to make sure, like down to the trays, down to the handles, everything I got was local because I know everybody around, and I wanted to make sure like the sofa was from somewhere locally. And my aprons are made from Headley and Bennett, which is a woman-based company in Los Angeles. My smocks I went to downtown LA to go get my smocks. Like I really want everything local because I just want to support us. I mean, and Studio City is such a special place, right?
It really
like
is.
I feel I was raised in the Valley in Sherman Oaks, Studio City. I've always worked on Ventura Boulevard in Studio City. It's like the last spot in the Valley where people are walking around.
Yeah.
And like where we are, we're right off Ventura on Laurelgrove. People are parking on our street and it's so nice. Like this is the most foot traffic I've ever got, like walk-ins.
Wow, that's awesome.
And I'm really fortunate and grateful, and I do take pride in staying in Studio City because you're close to Over the Hill. We say 40 minutes, it's usually an hour of traffic. The beach, we're close to everything, and it's so nice we can pop over the hill in 20 minutes.
Well, and it's funny that you say that. I'm kind of like smiling and almost laughing inside about this. I was showing a property over the weekend. I was doing an open house, and someone came in, and they're not born and raised in Southern California, but they've been living in Los Angeles for like 14 years, and I said, "Oh, so you're thinking about moving over this side?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I said, "Oh, where do you work?" And they told me where they worked over on the other side of the hill. And so I said, "Oh, so you're on the other side of the hill?" And they're like, "The hill?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, that's what we call that mountain, right?"
Yeah.
The hill,
Yeah. I love that.
So there's many ways to cut through the hill, and he was kind of like, "Oh, the hill, okay,
Yeah.
didn't know that."
Yeah. I don't even think of it when I say over the hill.
Yeah, because we're just,
yeah.
It's our orientation. So given that you're here in Ventura, and there's lots of things here in Ventura, when you're working and you're maybe, like you mentioned, running for a coffee or maybe grabbing lunch or having dinner, what are some of the local restaurants that you like to frequent?
Oh my God, there's so many. The funny thing is, I have to tell a story. I went to somewhere over the hill, and I was asking one of my clients, like, she lives in the Valley. I'm like, where do you go, like, for the cool people? Because, like, those places over the hill are for the tourists, but for, like, the locals, it's all in Studio City. Blue Bottle Coffee is my new favorite coffee place. And I love Mendocino Farms, which is right next door. We're getting a Sweet Greens. Oh my God, I'm so excited about getting a Sweet Greens, and it fills coffee. I'm a big coffee buff. Bluestone Lane Coffee is right down the street, and we have their coffee every Saturday with their donuts.
Nice.
You guys come and get your hair done. But I love, how many chin-chins are there? We have a chin-chins. We lit Sugarfish. Like, I can go on and on and on. how lucky we are. And I'm trying Mr. O's in a few weeks too, because I've heard many great things about. That's like the local cool place to go. So if you want a local cool place to go, Mr.
So let me ask you this question, Monique. Starting your own business, building out a facility, what has surprised you about owning your own business on this level where you've...
Oh my God, so many things. First of all, permits. So we started, I'm subleasing. We started subleasing last September and we didn't get in until February.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because we needed plumbing permits and we needed electrical permits, and that opened up a can of worms. And these places have been here since the 30s and 40s. So, and I wanted to do everything legitimately and the right way. And that's what surprised me the most, is just what it takes to get through to the city. I mean, the city stuff is a big deal. I can do the management stuff. I love that. I kind of thrive on that. But that kind of like going to the city and stuff like that, like really, it was a hard time for me. There's lots of obstacles.
Yeah, it's the whole permit process is never fun. I mean, obviously I deal with it in real estate with builders and stuff, or it can definitely be a headache.
Yeah.
And if I have a client that's like, oh, well, if I just buy this house and renovate it, and I'm like, okay, or if you buy this new one, that's maybe just a little bit more, you don't have to deal with that.
When we don't own our house. When we do, we'll be using you.
Exactly.
But that was like, now I told my husband, and he is in construction, he can do anything. I'm like, I just want to buy a house that's already done, because I don't think I can handle this again. Like, I have a client in Toluca Lake that's like, she's like, yeah, it's gonna be another 2 years till we're done.
She's not building the house right on the lake, is she?
I think she is, yeah.
Yeah, I was actually talking to the contractor this morning.
See, in LA, even though it's so big with millions of people, it's a small town. That's what I love about it too.
Go figure.
Yeah.
That's definitely interesting. There's always going to be challenges when you own your own business and when you're remodeling something, and rules and guidelines. Did they give you, like, were they strict about what you could do with the space, or were they totally okay with it?
But that was strict to get permits.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know after I got those 2 permits I needed a building permit. Like, and I had a contractor. Nobody told me anything. Like, I feel like you don't know anything until you go through it. So I feel like I was taking advantage a lot because I didn't know what I was doing. But in the end, and we'll see pictures, we did a beautiful job. We have 4 stations. We have the best bowls from Japan, not local, but that's what took so long too, is getting these bowls from Japan. They had to get approved from the city, and so it took a while, but they're the most comfortable bowls ever.
Nice.
So it's little stuff like that I waited for.
And let's bring it back to that. I'm gonna everyone keep watching, because we're gonna pan through the whole establishment so you can see everything. Because I actually think the exterior is very cool. That was a gorgeous job. Thanks. But kind of going back to the extensions themselves, and you were talking. We're gonna kind of share and show. I'm gonna hold this up.
It's hard with the glare.
Yeah. Can you kind of walk through some of these?
Yeah. So I just wanted to show we have our own little it's our own little kind of bar. So we have 4 different type of methods. I just want to talk about what they're called, because we have our own little menu. Prestige is our individual K-tips. Charm is our clip-ins for your night out. Desire is our hand-tied beaded wefts. And Allure is our tape. And in LA, the Allure method is the most popular, which is our tape-in method. Okay. So you said you'll take a picture and see the different kind of methods.
I like the name, Charm. I might have to try that.
Right.
Charmed.
You never know.
Well, I really want to tell you, I appreciate you taking the time for me today.
Thank you for asking me.
Yeah, so it's so awesome. And you actually mentioned how important social media is, and that's how we connected.
Yeah.
Love Instagram so much for that.
Yeah.
I've been able to really connect with a lot of amazing people through that, right?
I have to say that's how we get a lot of our clients. If there's one word of advice that I would talk about for Instagram and how we've built so quickly, is hashtags. I put in Studio City hair extensions, and people click on that, and I didn't know how important hashtags were until, like, every client that's been coming in is either Yelp or Instagram from hashtagging. So it's super important to put our Studio City hashtag in there.
Well, we're in such a modern age where we're all connected to our phones, and we've got all these apps, and it's just so easy to do things. I think even we're getting away from, like, let me Google that to let me check Instagram.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it's real world. It's what
Yeah.
people are doing and saying, and we're saving those pictures or we're sending stuff to each other. So
Yeah. Super
your
important.
Instagram is great too.
Oh, thanks.
So I, again, just really want to thank you.
Yeah.
And of course, all the information on the shop is below, so you can schedule an appointment. Is it best to call, email?
Either email or DM us. I'm really quick on the DM. On Instagram.
And come in and try it out.
Yeah, and then we can take a picture of the menu too. It's you have to come in, consult, match the hair, come back for the appointment. So there's a little bit, and there's a little bit of a wait. We're getting pretty busy, or we are pretty busy. So our Saturdays are booked up till like the end of September, which I'm very grateful for only been open 6 months.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Congratulations on
Thanks.
that. So you know where to go when it comes to extensions, right here at Extension Bar LA.
Mm-hmm.
And again, all the information below. If you have any questions, you can comment. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do so. Click that like button and of course click the bell for updates. Thank you guys so much for joining us today.
Bye.